We are live. So I don't know why the live that I scheduled on the phone is not the live that we have here right now. But here we are. So welcome, good evening, and happy Moon Day. Welcome to Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace. Happy Moon Day, Adam. It's our Valentine's Day episode. Oh my gosh. Can you believe that it's already another Valentine's Day? I remember Valentine's Day conversations last year and how we talked about Galentine's, which is tomorrow, I think. And don't men have something to like bros or something like that? I know the word bromance, but I'm not a bro, I guess. So you let me know, Adam. But good evening to you. And yeah, here we are. Like I said, I scheduled a live using the phone, and then when I came on the computer and tried to start that live, there's no button that allows me to start it. It only allowed me to edit it. So I just opened a new one, and here we are. And this week continues the saga of planets joining Pluto in Aquarius briefly because these other planets are closer to Earth, so they move through Aquarius and then the rest of the zodiac a lot sooner, right? Obviously, Pluto is still just in 0 degrees of Aquarius. So even though it's been a month or so, the 20-year saga, it's still at 0 degrees. And Venus joins Aquarius this week along with Mars. So a lot might come up this week. Now, we started with the moon in Pisces and we had a new moon last Friday. How was that for you? New moons are restorative in the sense that they hit heavy. I wonder if we can compare notes about that. The moon in Taurus or the moon in an earth sign like Virgo or Capricorn tends to be kind of like a vibe of slowing down in the physical, especially the moon in Taurus. Think nap time, think dozing off while reading a book, kind of slowing down. And then the new moon tends to also be anchoring in that way. So I wonder if anybody else felt like slowing down or like you were forced to slow down. It happened to me the previous weekend where I felt like I was forced to slow down because the local allergies just hit me really hard for the first time in forever. So that was last weekend. And then this weekend, I felt it differently, but yesterday I got physically ill. So it was more of a forcing myself to slow down because I was in bed for hours in a lot of pain. But I'm better now. And here we are. And, Aquarius, which is where the new moon happened. And now we start the week with the moon in Pisces. Aquarius is the innovator. Aquarius wants you to really think outside the box, which I think we tend to kind of be scared of. Maybe because of the concept that we have of what this really means. But these questions were kind of deep to begin with, even though this week the depth of feeling this that might come up has everything to do with Venus joining Pluto in Aquarius. But the questions for the new moon were, consider any behaviors or attachments that might be holding you back. What steps can you take to detach from these and embrace a more liberated and progressive path? Aquarius is progressive. And so what is it that you're doing every day? How do you feel about these actions? How do you feel about the order of things? I'm a rising Virgo, so the fact that these are the words coming out of my mouth does not surprise me, right? The fact that order is coming up does not surprise me, but at the same time, order is important for you as much as for me, even if Virgo is a lesser kind of sign present in your chart, because everything you do every day has an order and hopefully a reason for this order, and hopefully it's an order that works for you, and hopefully it's an order that creates flow. And if there's anything in your day to day that you feel resistance to, whether it's physically in your body or just like maybe you hear it in your head, like, why am I doing this again? Then how can you do it differently or not do it at all? And then if you take a path, if you make a decision that is just different than all the decisions you've taken in the past up until this day that you answer this question and decide to make a decision, right? Then hopefully you are liberated in a way. Freedom is a huge theme, right, for Aquarius and for this whole uh, theme that will untangle itself in the next generation, right? By letting go, by making a decision, by stop doing something, by saying no to something, so on and so forth, or saying yes and then starting something that now is going to unravel, right? Um, by this point happening, then everything just flows and it's progressive because it'll move forward, and it's liberating because something has been unleashed. So, what is that going to be for you? Right. And then, question number 2, reflect on a situation in your life that requires a fresh perspective. I mean, what is it that keeps coming up? And have you considered why something keeps coming up? A situation in your life that requires a fresh perspective. It doesn't in the past. It can be something right now that maybe you are hung up on because you haven't looked at it from a different point of view. And that could be someone else's point of view, or yourself from a totally different place, um, or character. How can you approach it with an open mind and a more unconventional approach? I mean, there's so much happening in the world that I'm seeing a shift. For example, I'm seeing a shift in some of the content that I follow. And I follow my Taylor Swift theory entertainment content and the epic people who are theorizing and putting all the dots together about her clues and so on and so forth. And then I follow my neurodivergent autism parenting community and teachers and educators. And then all of the astrology, right? And then all of you. Yay. And I've seen a shift in people who used to create for entertainment and now are much conscious level current events, social justice, equality, and freedom type of content oriented. And so that's a shift. And that's pretty much, I think now it's booming, but it obviously all started, last year, right? And so I think we're all in this kind of crossroads because there's a lot going on, and the collective also ripples, especially if you're, I don't know, neurodivergent sensitive, or if you identify as an empath, right? So anyway, the affirmations for the new moon: I embrace innovation and creative problem solving. I release the need for rigidity and approach challenges with an open mind and unconventional thinking. My vision is fresh, hopeful, and filled with creativity. So, this is from the book Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace 2024 Manifestation Agenda / Journal. Available in the link in the bio. Get it in Amazon. The whole year is lined up for you. And I journaled and I still haven't painted. I am excited to paint. I will paint it black tonight. And tomorrow, when the black is all dried up overnight, I don't know what will come. Clearly, I'm with the times and pretty inspired, so we'll see what I paint. But let's get to this week, shall we? We start the week with the moon in Pisces now. Saturn is still in Pisces, so it's been kind of interesting to navigate, right? Because Pisces is a water sign, the two fishies. Aquarius is pouring that water to Pisces, and Pisces is extremely intuitive and ethereal, and yet it just, Saturn is about boundaries. So Saturn becomes the dam that holds that water in, or just, I feel like, these are lifesavers sometimes, right? So we start the week with the moon in Pisces, and the cute thing about the moon this week is that we start the lunar cycle as soon as the moon goes from Pisces to Aries on Tuesday. And so in a few weeks, we're going to have a full moon in Pisces that will kind of really solidify whatever starts brewing today with shifts such as Mars and Venus. Now, the Venus transit doesn't go live until Saturday and or Friday, which is interesting because Friday is the first quarter. So Friday is the first moment where the transition from the new moon and all that has kind of transpired and unraveled in the last 48 hours of this new moon, and this kind of hazy Saturnian Pisces moon, if you will, this Monday and Tuesday, Sunday and Monday. And so the cute thing is that we don't have to figure it all out because it will unfold little by little as it always does. Now, Aries is going to bring a lot of fire to the table, and I feel like where Venus will be kind of argumentative by bringing up deep dramatic wounds that will affect our conversations in relationships and friendships, because that's what Venus stands for. And so, Friday, first quarter, right after Valentine's Day, it might be drama, or maybe you have drama on Valentine's Day, or maybe you have drama already. Because sometimes I feel like these astrological shifts really do take their time, and it doesn't happen at a specific time. I'm not sure. My job is not to like really gauge what the data reflects at a specific time and then compare it to when these transits go exact, or when the full moon peaks or the new moon peaks, right? But it is interesting, and I do let you know most of the time when the moons are peaking and so forth. And so Friday is that first quarter, so it becomes um a boundary point or a milestone point or a pit stop. It really depends on how you want to see it, for you to pause and take stock of everything that comes up between the new moon that happened last Friday and this first quarter happening a week later. And so Venus entering Aquarius and joining Mercury in Pluto, and Pluto in Aquarius, should make kind of problematic, hopefully not very triggering conversations. So, what I like to tell my clients, for example, when it comes to moments in the astrology like this one, is to prepare. I have learned that sit and try to imagine a conversation in my head, and trying to strategize about how a conversation is going to go is called scripting, and might be reflective of um, neurodivergence, right? However, um, maybe because of my line of work or my line of experience, but trying to anticipate the energy in a room, the patterns of behavior that have led to this moment, and the possible ways that a conversation could go. If anything, it sounds like preparation, right? And so, how can you best prepare for the worst possible conversation coming up later this week? I hope it's not drama for any of us. By Friday, the moon will be in Taurus, so that hopefully will anchor us down. Whereas Mercury square Uranus in Friday, with Venus joining Mercury and Pluto in Aquarius. Oh my gosh, that's like a lot. Um, the moon in Taurus will hopefully anchor us down and slow us down, and maybe we don't have an explosive conversation that burns down the house, right? And if you do, I am sorry, and I am here for you, and you will recover, because we always do. So by Sunday, the moon will be in Gemini. So Saturday and Sunday, we have a more kind of friendly energy. I think Venus conjunct Pluto might stir up the artist in us. I'm not necessarily waiting until Friday or Saturday to paint for my new moon, because I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna cover this with black right after this, and then by tomorrow morning, then I'll have the day to paint on top of it. But I can see, and I will follow up, I can see some of my besties that like art journaling coming up with some beautiful pages by the end of this coming week. And then we start next week with the moon in Cancer. So that should make for an emotional release. If anything really gets stirred up, there's going to be a release say when the sun shifts into Pisces and Pisces season begins, just like that. And just like that, this is episode 7, right? And just like that, here we are, and it's Valentine's Day. And my hope is that the drama that Venus, the goddess of love and relationships and harmony, because Venus rules Libra, right? Is not too stirred up with Mars. See, here's the thing. Dun dun dun, the plot thickens, because the other thing joining the party and waltzing itself to introduce itself and bow down to Pluto is Mars, the one that governs anger and resentment and the ego, and also your physical body and cars and machinery. Is that the word? Machinery. And man, it's like in Pluto, it really sounds like a recipe for disaster. So this is where thinking ahead of how conversations might transpire, especially if you are in a position where you're not safe, or especially if you are having difficult conversations that could potentially be harmful. If you are worried for your life, then this type of astrology kinds of, I'm grateful to make sense of it in this way, because thinking ahead might potentially save your life, right? So this is what I love about following these patterns and seeing all these things and figuring these things out. So that's it for the week. It sounds like a short week, but it's just because, of course, we just had that new moon, and we don't have the full moon until the 20 something. Let's see. The 24th is the full moon, and it's in Virgo, so we will start to ground some of the things that will come up in the next week and then the next week. So it should be an interesting 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and do this meditation. I'm so grateful for you. Grateful for subscribers, grateful for TikTok. Thank you so much for your kind messages and your well wishes this weekend when I was ill, and your kindness this morning when I skipped on the Monday morning call because I'm still recovering. I'm talking, I don't know, the food was delicious and nobody else got sick from the Super Bowl blast that we had. Nobody else got sick but me. So hopefully I make it. Right? We're so grateful to just be here. But let's do this meditation so that we can go on to resting. Music for this meditation is brought to you by Brain FM. If you would like to check out a free trial, the link is in my bio. We're going to meditate unguided with the chimes and bowls. I got my black tourmaline here. And just follow my lead. And with me, take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath in all the way. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale nice and slow through your mouth. Long, extended breath. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe in again through your nose. Deep, deep, deep breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale through your mouth. Nice and slow. And as you exhale and relax into this moment, and focus on your slow breath, I want you to imagine the waves and the beach coming and going, slowly and rhythmically. And it hypnotizes you and relaxes you in such a way and as you flow light and steady, ponder these words. I embrace the magic of imagination and the power of collective progress. I am ready to connect with the wisdom of my inner self and the world's potential for positive change. I am loved. I am cared for. I am guided. I am protected. With me, take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep, deep breath in through your nose. Deep, deep, deep. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale through your mouth, nice and slow. Long exhale. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and inhale once more through your nose. All the way, hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale nice and slow. Long exhale through your mouth. And as you relax into this exhale, nice and slow, focus on your slow, steady breath. And slowly bring your attention to your body, into this moment. Wiggle your toes and open your eyes. And come back to me. Thank you so much for being here, Adam. I'm so grateful for you. And if you are watching for the first time, I would love to get to know you in the comments. Let me and us know where you're from and where you're watching. And if you have any questions, my name is Graciela Moore. I'm an ICF certified personal coach. And I just love the moon and talking about all of this planetary stuff, mumbo jumbo, that it's kind of hard to keep track of and has been my special interest since I was a teenager. So there's that, right? And we follow the book, the agenda that's I created and has been amazing for the past year. And now this is the second year. And I'm so grateful for this inspiration and for the work that I just unravel by putting these pieces together for all of us to just discuss. So thank you for that. And thank you for joining this amazing journey. Thank you for being my besties and for showing up. And I just love you all so much. And I will see you next week. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.